Hi, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Wiley.
And it shouldn't happen again.
Yeah, welcome back to episode 7. Yeah, episode 7.
Probably?
Yeah,
Yay.
we've come so far. However, we started out with like 70 listeners, and then it was like 23, and then it was like 18, and now we're down to 10.
So you guys need to come back.
Yeah, and you need to tell your friends about it.
I'm going to be texting all of you to listen this week, so.
Yeah. Or if you want us to sponsor you, I mean, we will. I don't know what we'll use that sponsorship for, but Aerostore tickets.
Yeah, and this is a good time to mention that we are in the market for Aerostore tickets because we got a lot of people disappointed that we were not in the market for Aerostore tickets last week.
Yeah, like for some reason we forgot, right?
Yeah, like we just forgot to remind you guys.
But please send Aerostore tickets. You will get a signed postcard from the It Shouldn't Happen Again gals.
Yes. And if you're that one 8th grader who's on our tour, we'll have Wiley kiss it too.
Yeah. We gave tours this morning, and there was one who I felt so bad. He kept bothering my poor brother. He was like, hey Drake, what's your, like, because he found out I was Drake's sister, and he would not leave him alone. And he was, like, all up in Maddie's business.
He was all over, so he kept asking for our snaps.
Yeah, and, like, our age, and we were like, no.
And I said, please get away from me.
Yeah. But anyway, he's not going to listen because he's fake.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a real fan, then I'm sorry.
Yeah. But in Taylor news, October 27th has passed at this point. And guys, I was so happy. Yes,
I was too. You just like looked at me like
I was waiting for you to say something. But I was so happy. 1989 Taylor's version was amazing. What'd you think about the vault tracks?
I love them. My mom didn't like track number 17. I don't think I can say it. But she thought it was going to be a lot faster than it was.
Mm-hmm. I liked it.
I liked it too.
Suburban Legends was kind of my least favorite. And then now that we don't talk as good, it's just all over everything now. And it's kind of like...
Yeah, it's getting like really overplayed. But it's also like my favorite. So I can't even say anything.
I like them all. And yeah. But... I was really sad because I didn't have, like, I'm saving my money, so I couldn't get the vinyl. You can also send us vinyls if you really
I'm not getting the vinyl. Wink, wink.
But if you want to send us vinyls in our fan mail, that's fine, too. Just, you know, everybody who listens has my phone number, so I'll send you my address to send it to, and Maddie's address. But I was so happy because my grandparents gave me trick-or-treat money, and then I got it, and I was so happy.
Trick-or-treat money?
Yeah, that's a thing that we do.
How much money are we talking?
50. My grandparents are literally the best. Like, we get a little spoiled.
What?
Yeah. I still have some left over from when I bought the vinyl. I had like 10 left. But I bought my mom a drink with it too. So I did some good for the people.
$50 for trick-or-treating. Can you believe that?
Jade
is shocked too.
My grandparents are the best. They're the best.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just a little spoiled. That's why
just a little.
Like I do. Yeah. So anyway. Yeah, Jade did listen to 1989 before all of us.
Oh, yeah. And she doesn't even like Taylor Swift, so.
She just did it for us.
She likes Blank Space and Hayley Williams.
Uh-huh. So she's been waiting. But I can't wait for Debut and Reputation to come out.
I can't wait for Debut.
I was in the car with my friends after rehearsal, and they started playing Taylor Swift because I was in the car. And I was like, you guys got me.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Great.
It's my week today. So.
And she didn't do a 1989 song because she's fake.
No, I was going to, but then I found that, like, I feel like mine fits really well because I was going to do Blank Space, but then I was like, it'll work. We can have double, but like the main one is Mad Woman from Folklore.
Yeah, I relate to that one.
And the lyric that made me choose it was like, every time he calls me crazy, I get more crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like this one fits. Maddie's singing it now. My case for today is the Lululemon murders, which
got spoiled to me.
Yeah.
By our fakest friend.
I am just kidding.
I'm just kidding. She's not a fake friend.
She listens to every episode. Ava, we love you.
I love you, Ava.
Yeah. But, so Lululemon.
I'm going to cut out where you said Ava.
Okay. Huh?
So I'm going to cut out where you said Ava.
Okay, that's fine. So as a basic white girl, Lululemon holds a special place in my heart. I'm just kidding. I only have the purse, but it's hot pink. It's so cute. I want Lulu stuff, but I can't. I'm not spending that much money.
You're not like that.
Yeah. But, I like this case, and my mom told me about this one, and then I listened to Morbid's two-parter.
I love
So go
Morbid.
listen. Yeah.
Big Morbid girlies.
Please send our podcast to Morbid, guys. And please send us Aerostore tickets.
If we had 2 listeners and it was just the Morbid girlies, I would be okay.
Yeah. I would love that so much.
That my dream.
So this case starts out on March 11th in 2011. Okay? So one of the managers of the store, Rachel, and this is the Bethesda Lulu store.
Mm-hmm.
So the manager, Rachel, came in to open, and she arrived shortly before 8 a.m., okay? And when she got there, the door was unlocked. So she was like, what the heck?
That's a little silly.
Yeah, and especially since the night before, Jany Murray, that's who was closing, that night before, she's a really good closer, right? She did her job, and she was really nice. And so she was like, that's really suspicious. So she was like, what the heck? So she walks in, and the store is just a mess. It's just, things are thrown everywhere. It was, ransacked. So she walked toward the back to be like, what the heck? And she found blood everywhere.
Uh-oh.
So then she looked down, and she saw bloody footprints. And then she keeps going, and she hears a small groan come from the back. So she ran. She was like, So she ran out to, go get some help. So this was, in a shopping center, right? And it was, a well-known shopping center. And right next to it was an Apple store. Right next to the Lulu. Okay? So,
White girl paradise.
Right? So, she goes, and, it's super, super, crowded out there. Because this, certain day, it just happened to be the release of, the iPad 2. So there were tons of people lined up to get their iPad doses, right?
Doses.
Yeah. So they go in line to get their iPad 2s. They're all waiting there. And Rachel runs out of the store and is like, oh my gosh. Of course she looks like she just seen a ghost because she just saw her store all bloody with someone going, sound effects.
Sound effects.
So then, she runs into this guy. And this guy's name is Ryan Huff. And she's like, hey, he's like, Huff. Yeah,
Huff?
That's right, Huff. We know a special someone with the last name Huff. So, he's like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And, Rachel's like, oh my gosh, this just happened. He's like, okay, well, I'll go into the store.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, really nice of him. But he walked back and, again, saw the bloody footprints. And, it was mainly the blood was concentrated to, the back hallway, right? Mm-hmm. And there was tons of blood. So, there were also broken items, everywhere. The store, like I said, had been, ransacked. So, it was really confusing. And, later it came that the blood splatters were up to 6 feet high.
What the freak? How?
I don't know. But, yeah. So, and then he saw what he thought was a man lying in a pool of blood. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then, there was another woman. This one was a woman. He thought the first one was a man, laying on her back on the floor. Her arms and hands and chest were sliced, and she had a huge laceration on her forehead. So she was cut all over, and then she was zip-tied. Her arms and legs were zip-tied together, and her arms were over her head. And there was also a slice in her pants that exposed herself through her undergarments and everything. So he's like, what the heck? So Ryan runs out to tell Rachel to call the police because whatever just happened had been brutal. So he explained to the police that he thought he saw a dead man and a really injured girl who he assumed to be sexually assaulted because of the rips in her pants. So Montgomery County police officer Kristen Knuth was the first one on the scene. She was absolutely shocked, obviously. And when she made her way to the back, she found that the supposed dead man was actually the body of Jany Murray, who had been found in yoga pants and athletic wear. And she was lying face down in blood. And this was the manager that closed the night before. Jany Murray. Okay. So she was like literally covered in blood head to toe. Like she was red. Like just wait. Yeah. So her head was like just so bashed and battered, like you could tell. And like beside her, there was like a tool belt. And it was just like, it looked like it had like fallen and then rolled off of her back. Like someone had dropped it on her.
Oh my god.
So, just like the girl in the bathroom, her pants had been slit as well, exposing herself. So, they checked Jana's pulse, and there was none. Like, she was dead, and she was pronounced dead.
That amount of blood.
But she was pronounced dead, and she was, like, 30. Like, she just turned 30. So she was, like, 5'5". She was very athletically built, and she was blonde, you know, just like if you look up pictures, and we'll post them on our Instagram, she was really pretty. So she was a straight-A student, and she was an overachiever, and she loved to do, like, risky things. So skydiving, rock climbing, bungee jumping, you know, things like that. She really just, like, took life by the hair and just did it, right? So she was actually she was really into, like, dancing and singing, all that. So she was going to become a Broadway dancer, and then she decided, actually, now I want to do, like, business things. So she was in school for that.
That's a big jump.
Right? I don't know. She just had a change of heart, I guess.
Mm.
But she was getting 2 grad degrees. And literally, she was like 2 weeks shy, like, of getting her degrees when she was murdered.
Oh,
like
that
2
sucks.
weeks. Mm-hmm. And she left behind 2 brothers and 2 parents and a boyfriend. Frazier was the boy, and he was obviously devastated. They were gonna, like, spend their lives together, you know, get married. And then she was pronounced dead, of course. But the woman in the bathroom was identified as 28-year-old Brittany Norwood. And she was alive, but she was, like, really brutally injured, obviously, as we saw.
Mm-hmm.
She was really athletic, and she had 4 brothers and 4 sisters. That's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom's popping them out.
Mm-hmm. But she grew up really happy. Like, she was a star athlete, and she was, like, a great student. She played soccer, but she was a self-proclaimed foodie. Okay, so she liked really elegant food, but she was really concerned about, like, how she looked, and, like, she was bougie, right? Like, she wanted to be bougie. She was bougie, but she made like $12 an hour at Lululemon. That was her only job.
Yeah, but I'm sure she got a discount on Lulu stuff then too.
Yeah, but like she would like be like all out, like buy expensive bags and like shoes and like stuff that wasn't just Lulu. So everybody was like, what the heck? How does she like do all these things and like doesn't make any money? But they were all like, whatevs, who cares? And so then she's planning to leave Lulu and become a personal trainer at Equinox because her friend got a job there. And her friend was like, oh, they pay a lot of money. And she was like, okay. So she had been interviewed, and then they actually invited her back for a second interview right before this happened. Right? So once the police arrived to the store and, like, found everything, they then took Brittany to the hospital, obviously, because she's zip-tied and cut everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an officer who went with her, and that was Officer Deanna McKee. So Brittany, this is her story that she told it. She said that Jana had closed up the night before with her, and then when they were leaving, around like 9:45, she realized that she had left her wallet in the store. So she called up Jana and was like, oh, hey, I left my wallet in the store. Like, I need to go back and get it. So Jana's like, okay. And Jana was driving home while Brittany was taking public transportation. So she needed her Metro card, which was in her wallet, which is what she forgot. So Jana got her keys and went back in, and they searched for about, like, 15 minutes for the wallet, and they just couldn't find it. So Brittany claims that Jana offered her Metro card, because that's just the kind of person that Jana was. So she's like, okay, And as they're leaving, these two men show up out of nowhere. Okay? They're dressed in all black. They have masks on their faces so you can't see them. And Brittany, what she described is they were white men because that's what they sounded like. Okay? So they bust in through the front door, and just straight as they come in, they just punch Jana in the face. So they're just walking in and punching her in the face. And then there were two of them. She described one as tall and one as short. So while the one started beating Jana in the face, the other dragged Brittany by her hair and just started cutting her all over. Okay? Which Brittany had like an absurd amount of lacerations. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird. But they were like, okay. So the men are like screaming things at them as Brittany's describing. They're calling Brittany racial slurs, like calling her ungodly things. And they're calling like Jana things that are like we can't repeat. And the man who was assaulting Brittany took it further and sexually assaulted her without her consent. Which assaulting her is without consent, but
yeah,
you know. So then he was like, he even, to Brittany's account, took a wooden hanger and started assaulting her with that too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And while he was doing all of this, he was like screaming racial slurs at her, like absolutely horrible ones. And all of like the things that they actually said are in a book. It's called Murder in the Yoga Store, and it's supposedly like really detailed about this whole case. But I think you can buy it, and I think it's on like online too. Like you can read it.
It's on Amazon.
It's on Amazon, yeah. But I want to read it. But the book has like actual quotes as to what Brittany said happened, like what they actually said about her to her while they were doing all of this. But I don't know. You should read it. I want to read it. But as all of this is supposedly going on with Brittany, she says that she hears Jana in the other room just absolutely screaming bloody murder. And she could hear, and like she said she could see the man beating Jana, okay, while she was getting assaulted. And she said that there were so many screams, and then at one point they just slowly fainted, and then they were no more.
Oh.
Yeah. And like she could see through the hallway, which is how she saw them beating her. But then, when they were done, they threw Brittany on the bathroom floor and then zip-tied her everywhere. So she could, like, see through the hallway, which is how they saw her beating her. So then, when they were done with the Jana, they threw Brittany in the bathroom and zip-tied her on her legs and hands, and then put her hands over her head. And then she blacked out until, like, the cops came in the morning. That's what she says, on the bathroom floor.
Oh.
Okay. So, when she was telling police all of this, she's, like, sobbing uncontrollably.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just like,
you know, as you would.
Yeah. So like they couldn't even understand her. She was crying so much, and she was like shaking, very clearly traumatized with the situation. And she just kept talking about how much blood there was. Like, and she kept trying to say like, "Oh, I tried to help her," and she kept saying the phrase, "She was so innocent." Like she was so innocent. And then she was like, "Oh my gosh, it's not my fault. I forgot my wallet." And then she was like, she kept asking if her friend was okay, asking if Jana was okay. And she didn't know Jana was dead at this point. Okay? Mm-hmm. So as that's going on, and after Jana's autopsy is going on, and this part's pretty, like, graphic, but she was assaulted with hundreds of wounds, used several different weapons. Some, it was like a box cutter, like, those hanger things, like we have them at Dick's, you know, those hanger things that you like use to get the hangers. Mm-hmm. One of those, like literally so many weapons. They found 232 blunt force injuries to her body, 99 sharp wounds to her body, and more than 100 wounds to her head alone. And her skull was cracked in 8 places. Her face was just demolished. And in addition to all of that, there were 37 injuries to the back of the head. The fatal blow being one laceration that was 3.5 inches deep into her like lower head by her neck, and it penetrated her cerebellum and like cut her spinal cord. So that was the final blow. But there were, that they could count 331 separate injuries, not counting the ones overlapping each other, like, that they couldn't count, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's too silly. Jada's horrified. Look at her. Her eyes are so wide.
But yeah, so whoever did this was like
Silly?
Like 331 wounds. Hello?
Yeah, that's a little goofy.
Yeah.
Not even
So,
silly at that point.
They're like, what in the world? Who did this? And so the Apple store next door had surveillance cameras. And they had surveillance cameras on the outside of the stores, right? Because it was a shopping center. Well, they actually found what looked to be walking around a tall man and a short man all dressed in black. So they were like, oh, these have to be our guys because it was at night. And they ended up being, like, they didn't have anything to do with it. They were just there, right? So they, like, ruled that out. So they were still trying to figure it out. But they asked the Apple store next door because they closed at the same time Lulu did. And they were like, did you guys hear anything? And they're like, oh, yeah.
What?
They're like, we heard a bunch of screaming and, like, grunting. But, yeah.
What?
Yeah. And there's literally security footage in the Apple store.
Yeah, exactly.
No. They heard, like, breathe, like, people, you could hear the people not breathing right. Like, they could hear, like, like, it was so loud that they could hear it through the wall.
Screaming, like, you think they'd...
Oh, just wait.
Jade is so confused. Look at her.
Just wait.
Jade's so mad. Jade thinks it was Brittany.
I don't know.
I'm gonna put that on record.
So, I don't know. Brittany's
100%.
like super beat up too, though.
Yeah, Brittany has a whole bunch of cuts. I mean, that could be it.
Just wait. So,
Okay.
the Apple store shared a wall with Lulu, so they could hear it pretty clear, and that you could literally, there's surveillance of them in the Apple store listening to the wall. Like, they were listening.
No, there isn't.
It. Yes, there is. They were listening to it, and they were like, "Oh well."
I'm imagining like their cameras, like and like the really bad quality cameras, it's just people
Yeah,
leaned up to the
me
wall with
too.
like their ear, like
And they're
that'd be
hearing
us.
people just
But we'd call the police. We'd be like,
There's something like, what's the worst gonna happen if the police come? You get embarrassed because you thought something was going on.
yeah. They go check it out and then everyone's fine. And they're just like having a little like screaming contest.
Yeah.
Like,
But,
oh
like,
well.
The things that like they were hearing is not normal. Like,
No.
but yeah, they were like, they literally even heard like one of the accounts that that they asked the Apple people. They said, "Oh yeah, I heard a girl say, 'Talk to me. Don't do this, please. Talk to me.'" And then later, they heard the same woman that said the "talk to me" thing say, "God, help me, please. Please help me."
If someone is screaming, "Help me, guys," that normally means they need help.
Yeah. And
Like,
so they didn't call 911. They were like, "Oh, it's just drama." Like, one of the male employees was like, "Oh, it's just girl drama."
that is so like.
I'm not even kidding you. They were like, "Oh, it's just a girl thing." So when we sound like we're all mad at each other, like,
It's just a girl thing. That's how Oliver feels.
yeah. So, whatever. But moving forward, they searched the store more, and a forensics team found size 14 sneakers hidden at the scene. Okay? They were spattered in blood, but the soles themselves didn't have any blood on them. And then when they ran the, like, shoe to the, like, the bloody footprints on the floor, it was a match. So they were like, what the heck? Why would they leave their shoes at the scene of the crime? But the soles were...
Yeah,
like,
so it's like they just like put blood on the top. Like
yeah.
for funsies.
But, like, the bloody footprints were of that shoe.
Wait, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, what the heck? Did they clean them? So they were like... They spoke to Brittany again. Because they were like, what the heck is going on? And another weird thing that they found was Brittany went home, like, a day after the attack. Like, she was in the hospital for like a day. And then she went home. And she only had stitches on the gash on her forehead and then one, like, in between the webbing of her fingers.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
I know that hurts.
ew,
But
ew.
she only had stitches in them. And then everything else was, like, not bad. Of a cut, okay? So
yeah,
it's like,
that's looking like Brittany.
what the heck?
Jade's in there nodding, putting on her lip gloss.
Yeah. So it's like, what the heck? So she pulled out a few more details out of her hat. She said that at one point the men pushed her down onto Jana's body. Which is like, what?
Why?
And then she said that the men claimed that the only reason she wasn't dead like Jana because she was more fun. And she's like sobbing as she's telling them this, but like nothing really major changed in her story. And then Brittany claimed that the shoes that they hid were the store's shoes. Like, they sold them there. So they were like, what the heck? And they became very weary from, like, Brittany's story. And, like, they also found that the zip ties that were, like, used to tie up Brittany were, like, all from the store. Like, every weapon that they used, every, like, the shoes that they used were from the store. Everything was from the store. So they were like, what the heck?
That's what I was thinking when you said that they used, like, one of the things to get hangers down.
Yeah.
I was like, well, wouldn't that, like, how would they already have that if they just walked in?
Like, nothing, they didn't bring anything. And again, if it's a robbery gone wrong, it would not have come out like this at all.
No.
And they also found it very suspicious that Jana's injuries were overkill and Brittany's weren't.
And also, a robbery gone wrong. What, like, grown man is going to Lululemon?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, why is he stealing? Like, I guess, like, maybe reselling or something. But, like, I feel like...
It wouldn't be this deep.
Yeah, I feel like he just wouldn't care that much about Lulu.
And as someone who works at a retail store, it is not that deep. Like, just, like, it's better to just...
Save yourself.
Yeah.
Like, the
That's
merchandise doesn't care.
When
like,
they
matter.
train us, they're like, just don't, like, tell someone, like, if we think we see someone, like, tell someone, like, don't put yourself at risk, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, what the heck? And the people that Brittany were describing were monsters. They were, like, racist, and they were sexually assaulting them. They were screaming at them. Not to mention they were murderers and, like, did all of these things to these girls. So they were like, I don't think that these people exist. So they thought that Brittany was lying.
The real murderers are the friends we've made along the way. Like, what?
So they also found Jana's car in a neighboring parking lot, like 3 blocks away. Which was weird because Brittany said that when they went back in to get the wallet, they, like, parked it at the front. And it clearly wasn't in the front. It was in the back. So they're like, what the heck? And so when they got in the car, there was blood everywhere. Like, there was blood smeared all over the steering wheel, the handles, like, the wheels of the car. And it was like, DNA test found that it was all Brittany's and Jana's. Okay?
Does Lulu not have any cameras inside?
It didn't. Yeah. I couldn't find anything that said. So.
Yeah, what?
Like, they also found a bloody hat. Like, a hat filled with blood in it, right? So, they swabbed, like, the brim of the hat, like, where your forehead touches, and it ended up being Brittany's hat. So, again, they bring Brittany back in for questioning, and they're like,
oh my God,
so we found Jana's car, and, like, we found your DNA in it. We, like, found things in it. Like, have you ever been in it? And she goes, no, I've never been in the car. Like, maybe once, but she's never driven me anywhere. So they're like, that's a lie. Yeah. So they're, like, at this point, they're, like, trying to get her, right? Like, they're trying to get her to slip up and say something. So, a little backstory about Brittany. Girl is a thief. Girl, this is how she, like, gets her, like, luxurious lifestyle. She steals everything, right? So
yeah, I figured that in the beginning when you were talking about it.
Her brother, they ended up she wants her brother to come in because they're like, Brittany, we know you did it. Like, just say it. And she's like, I need my brother. So she is like, I need to talk to my brother alone. So her brother's asking her, like, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? And she's like, are they recording us? As they're in an interrogation room. And her brother's like, no, don't worry. They're not recording us. Like, they're not recording us, Brittany. Don't worry. You're in an You're in an interrogation
Yes, they are
room.
recording you, honey.
Yeah. And so,
like,
she's like, did you do it? And, like, did you steal something? Did you do it? And she goes, she's like, they accused me of stealing. Well, did you steal? Yeah. So, she didn't want to get fired. And there were, like, multiple other, like, coworkers that, like, she stole their stuff all the time. And she'd been fired from previous jobs from stealing. So her brother was like, did you do it? And she was like, well, she accused me of stealing. So, he was like, okay. So what really happened was they were closing, and Jana said, oh, I forgot my wallet. And then they went back in the store, and she just absolutely went ham. Because Jana was confronting Brittany about stealing. And all of the managers, were talking about it and said, we need to handle this situation. And you know what's really sad? Jana was not supposed to close that night. She took someone else's shift.
If I was the person, like, who had her cover my shift, I'd be done. I couldn't do it.
Like, that's, yeah.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah. So she wasn't even supposed to work that night. But Brittany was just so, like, she just went berserk. And so they're like, what the heck? So the cops come in and are like, girl, you were being recorded. And then she went to court and was sentenced to life in prison. But the song of the week this week, Mad Woman, is like, every time you call me crazy, I get more crazy. Well, she told her she was stealing, and then she got real crazy. Like, that's the only reason I picked it.
Jade's face, she's like side-eyeing us. She's like, what?
Well, okay, but because, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and she's a mad woman. But, yeah, that's the case for today. So.
That's silly. We should have had Jade on here, because Jade has a lot of feelings about this case.
Yeah, Jade was like, it is Brittany.
Jade, do you want to come here and tell us your commentary?
Okay, so Jade, please tell us your, like, info on this case.
So, I'm not used to this. So, I missed the end. What happened? She went in, like, when they were at the store,
They were
like,
closing.
she was stealing something, and then Jana called her out?
So she had been stealing stuff for a long time.
Okay.
And all the managers came together and were like, what the heck? Like, why? Like, we need to handle it. And so Jana was just happened to be on the night that she wasn't supposed to be. She covered someone's shift. And, like, she confronted Jana about the stealing, and Jana was just like, or Brittany was just like, killed her.
Okay. So yeah, I knew it was Brittany from the beginning, because, like, she's sobbing, she's crying. Like, shut up. You're obvious. I don't even know what else to say. Like, I can't experience the emotions again. I was in there, and I was just shocked the whole time. How many injuries did she have?
331 to think count.
Jeez, and there's over 100 to her head? Is that what you said?
There were, more than 100 to her head alone.
Yeah, like,
and her skull was cracked in, like, 8 places.
why are you so upset that you got caught? Like, you got caught stealing. Get a different job.
She said she'd been caught cheating, or, like, not cheating, stealing before.
Yeah, she, like, lost jobs before, too.
And she didn't kill any of them.
Yeah, like, what did Jana do? I feel like there's more behind it, because, like, why Jana specifically?
Well, because she was just the one to
say something, but it's like,
But apparently
why
other
wouldn't
people
you
told her before, like, they said something.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't you kill the managers that fired you before for stealing, but you kill this innocent girl?
She just got, like, a snap, like, she just was.
And she had another job, like, lined up.
I know, that's why I was
She
like,
had her
what
second
the heck?
interview, like, she could have just gone, like, over, and then became a fitness trainer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did she, like, see the two guys outside and be like, oh, that's my perfect story? But it's like...
I'm assuming so.
And
because how did she, like, describe those? And they just happened to be there.
What did the car thing have to do with anything? Like, they found the DNA on the hat in her car?
She drove the car somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
And then tied herself up. She did all of the, like, lacerations and stuff to herself to make it look like
That's
a
what I
robbery.
said.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about that, too. Like,
She cut between her own fingers. Oh
ew.
my
No,
god.
and she cut her forehead.
I'd cut everywhere else that, like, wouldn't
Not in
hurt me
between
that
my
bad. Like,
fingers.
Mm-hmm.
hit the legs a little bit, maybe
Yeah,
some
and, like,
arms.
She, like, just, like, it sounds like she just, like, nicked them real quick. Like, it wasn't anything, like, crazy.
Yeah, all of them
Yeah.
except for her forehead and the ones between her fingers were skin deep.
Why would you do stuff that severe to Jaina and then be like, I can get away with, like, 3 cuts? Like,
Yeah.
I got a paper cut. I was trying to run away from him and the shoestring tripped me and I hit my head. Like, girl, if you're gonna hurt her that bad, hurt yourself, like, slightly as bad. You didn't even do, like, 1/8 of the... That's
Right?
so dumb. Oh my god. People are idiots. Jesus Christ. And what did she tell the police? Like, oh... These guys hurt us. They killed her, but they just touched
she
me. Like,
They said that she claims that they didn't kill her and like she wasn't in the same shape as Jaina because she was more fun to sexually assault.
Which is crazy.
that's so dumb. That's my input on it. That's so stupid.
Jada's just so
No.
mad.
Like, kill your first manager that fires you. I'm still stuck on that. Like,
I
this
don't know.
innocent. This is also not even the girl that fires you. Like, from your job. This is
Yeah.
like your coworker.
No,
Yeah,
she's a
it was like a
manager.
warning.
Was she a
though.
manager?
Jaina was manager.
Oh, okay. Well, was she the
I feel like it
GM?
was more like a warning. Yeah, because she
Yeah.
can't fire her. She can be like, hey, we know you're stealing, like, cut it out. But she wasn't like, you're fired.
Yeah, exactly.
She just said something like,
Yeah,
hey,
she's
you're
like,
stealing.
like it's come to our attention that you're stealing. Like, we need to handle this issue, and if you can't stop them, we're gonna have to.
I'm never becoming a manager anywhere. That's
Right?
awful. That's
Mhm.
crazy. And it was at night. That's so dumb. And the people next door, bro. What the?
No, they're like,
Like-
oh, it's just girl drama.
This is just a girl drama. Like, yeah, I heard them scream. Like, did they think that they were? That's
I
what
don't
I
think
thought.
so,
Like,
because
but at the
there's
same time, you
so
hear
many
the.
bloody murder.
Yeah, that's not the same screams.
This is our family-friendly podcast.
What you're talking about?
Yeah.
Come on now. No, but like, that's so like. Oh yeah, we just thought it was girl drama.
No, because they were
Hello.
like grunting as in like they like she was obviously like
Not
Yeah.
not like that grunt. They're like like
and they found them like
So
the
sorry,
breathing
that's
that they
cool.
described was like that they like she like was not like running out of breath, like she was tired, like she could not breathe, like she was like
yeah, that's
sound effects.
girl drama goes crazy. I was about to say me and Oppo, but but that,
She is an oppo. I bet she's an oppo in jail.
This has been a fun episode.
It has.
We got
Thank you,
Jade on here.
Jade, for that input. Jade's our sound person. If you don't know, she controls the mics and everything. Yeah,
Even though a lot of the time we still have to get Xander because
that's okay. But now we know how to fix it. Not
and we have
really.
his number.
Yeah,
so-
we do have his phone number. But okay, yeah, everybody go listen to Mad Woman. It's from Folklore.
Yep. Send us Eras Tour tickets.
Please, yeah. What was the other thing? Oh, please, send us your store tickets and have a great week. We'll see you next Tuesday. So I'm Wiley.
And I'm Maddie.
And
And
it
it shouldn't happen again.